Okay, so here we are with our new episode of Pints and Pages, and we are going to discuss the ending, the season finale of Loki. I'm Nick,
I'm Brad.
I'm Levi.
and we are going to get right into the, I guess, the
Well, we also got to
potatoes
talk
of this
about
whole
the
thing.
other two episodes too, because we
Yeah, I guess this is the second half. This is the second half. Go.
Lots of spaghetti.
Yes.
4, 5, 4, 5, and 6,
Yeah.
and 6 is the big one
All
for
spaghetti.
sure.
No meatballs.
Yeah, it was all spaghetti, no meatballs. Yeah, because honestly, through the last couple episodes, the biggest thing was everybody turning into spaghetti.
Yeah.
That was the biggest point.
Hey, Obi warned us about it in the first two episodes repeatedly that Loki needed to understand that sometimes people turn into spaghetti if they fuck up.
He kind of
I'll point out though. So episode 3. It's so dramatic, and they're getting all this shit together. And then you go to episode 2, and they're in the room, and everything's gonna end. And
You mean 4?
4, yeah. Sorry, episode 4. And they're all in the room, and then Victor Timely gets spaghettified, and it was such a moment. And then you get to the finale, and they're like, that was but a fragment of Loki's entire existence. Right. He spent more time alive during those moments than he did his entire existence before he was captured.
Yeah, because he
spent most of his life in the TVA.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Correct.
Thousands of years.
Centuries.
Yeah, centuries, according to the last episode.
Yeah, because he learned all the physics. Dude, I thought that was...
I loved it.
They're typing,
So, I'm going to jump straight to it. What is your guys' thoughts on He Who Remains having scripted everything past his death also and claiming reincarnation, knowing he was going to be back?
He sure knows how to dump a bitch. He just left Renslayer in the void, fuck.
He left her in the void.
But hold on.
Where's the void?
Yes. But he needed help to tame Eliath from Renslayer. Do you think Eliath is going to immediately just devour Renslayer, or do you think she'll be able to tame Eliath? I think she's going to tame Eliath.
She can't tame Eliath because it takes 2.
Okay, I guess that's a valid...
Unless the second one is Miss Minutes.
No,
because they do...
Minutes can't exist in the void, I don't think.
No, she exists in the void because remember when they went to the castle?
Yeah, because she pops
up.
The void, the castle's in the...
That's not the void. The void is a different
place. Castle's in the void.
That was a gateway.
Yeah, he is correct. Yeah, he is correct because the void is outside. Because that's...
All right, I get what you're saying.
They say it in the first episode when they prune Loki. When you get pruned, you get pulled out of time.
Right.
And where do you go when you get pruned? The void.
The void.
Yeah. But also, I mean, I think technically, I imagine they sit in the same spot. Not the same spot, because I don't think it's a direct walkway. But I imagine He Who Remains' palace is also technically outside of time.
So what do you think about the fact that she's in the void and it's a version of the destroyed TVA?
It is.
It is.
I think it's always been that.
Well, here's the
thing. Think it's always been that?
I
don't know that it's always been that.
No, it's a world where
the TVA got destroyed.
It's a plane. It's almost like a plane of existence,
and
where everything that gets destroyed goes to.
Everything
that the TVA was there and got destroyed. Is that a
piece of the TVA got pruned?
Yes, a piece got pruned.
Kind of like Loki shows where he prunes the statues.
Prune the wall.
Essentially, you could look at it as that part of the wall just went to the void.
Yeah. Okay.
Even though that really kind of doesn't make sense because he punctures into the wall when he hits it with the pruning stick. So I feel like both sides of the wall should have went away, but whatever.
I figured it would just prune the whole building.
I mean, yeah,
me too.
Technically, it should have, probably.
The building's not there when Renslayer showed up.
Well, no.
Just the ground. Just
Well,
the floor.
Yeah.
But you see a lot of destroyed shit. Like, we're going to see the Void in Deadpool 3, and you see them fighting on a destroyed Fox 20th Century Studios sign in the trailers.
Hey, what happened?
Have you not seen that picture?
Not think that picture at all.
Yeah, I've seen stills of it. Apparently, it's also in one of the trailers. I
Really?
don't watch all the
I have
trailers,
not
so
seen that at all.
yeah, I've seen a bunch of stills. There's I've also seen behind the scenes pictures of Deadpool standing there with swords, Wolverine with his claws out, or what they use as props for his claws, and them fighting, them
I've
shooting
seen
it
that.
on the scene.
I've
Okay.
seen now.
I've seen that. I haven't seen any of that.
Yeah.
I haven't
So
seen any.
we're gonna see them. So that's also
was-
how the TVA
I
is
was
involved with
utterly
that.
shocked by the fact that Loki ended, and I'm going to jump ahead. Loki ended without crossing over into the Marvels.
I'm glad. I'm so
I
glad.
get it, but I don't.
I think what we're not looking at is the bigger picture. Is Loki didn't just he did cross into the Marvels. He just crossed into every.
Because he's creating.
He is in.
So him being the tree of life, with him grabbing all of those branches,
Yes.
sitting on the
Yes,
throne.
Every unit.
It's not that he's not just bringing them to life. He is now he who remains sitting there, but he's not pruning and cutting. He is just weaving them all together so they can exist.
Yeah,
So he is touching every single life.
He's Loki that remains.
And they do prone. If you look when they first pan into the TVA, there's a sign that says something about helping grow.
Yeah.
And you
The
prune a plant to help it grow.
they change.
So instead of pruning it to a single loop, they're pruning it so that it actually grows in a healthy manner, and you get rid of the bad branches.
Yeah.
You just get rid of the bad ones.
I think
and leave the good ones.
I think his definition of bad is how he put it to He Who Remains, because he's like, I'll just kill all the variants, and he's like, there's too many of them. And he's like, that's never stopped me before.
Yeah,
and so I think this is also him.
He can move
Well,
in what he's in now.
I'm not saying necessarily he's literally grabbing them and pruning, but he is now essentially the loom. He is control.
He is not essentially the loom. He is the loom.
Well, yes.
He is the loom.
But in being the loom, you control the timeline. Because it's he who remains says when the loom overloads, it immediately deletes all of the branches it doesn't need, which means it can alter the branches. Which means theoretically that Loki should be able to alter the branches if he is now the loom.
The loom wasn't sentient, so he's gonna absolutely. Plus, he's enchanting it. He's enchanting it like the.
That's what that green magic is.
Yes.
Yes. The timelines when he was doing that.
Yes. So do you think at some point? So do you think at some point when somebody fucks with the timeline, he's going to wake up?
He's not necessarily asleep.
I think he's essentially now a minor version of Uatu the Watcher.
Yes. He is.
He's gonna sit there, kind of like Uatu did in What If. I don't know if you watched all of What If.
So
he sits there and watches until.
So you can't intervene.
But I mean, Uatu does.
He's not supposed to. But he's not supposed to.
He's not supposed to, but he can and he does in What If because of the fact Ultron from that alternate reality is busting.
The only reason he does is because it's a what.
That's true also, but Loki's also not Uatu, or however you say his name. So I don't know if he has to follow those rules. You know what I mean? So maybe you are correct, and if somebody fucks up bad enough, that'll be, in quotes, him waking up.
And that would be Deadpool.
Yeah, probably.
So now,
but I don't know
I
don't know if we're going to see...
answer to you, Loki, at this
point. Right. So is Loki...
He is the king of the 9 realms.
Yes.
He is. He's sitting on a golden throne.
Not 9, 10, right?
It's 9 realms.
I thought there was 10.
It's 9 realms.
Midgard
is Earth. Or not. Midgard. Yeah, Midgard is
Earth. 9?
It's the 9 realms.
Oh.
Because in Norse mythology, they count for
read any of the spoilers on the Marvels?
No,
Oh, I don't know nothing about the Marvel.
Truckers.
I don't.
All right.
I don't care about the Marvels.
Wow.
I'll end up watching it, but you can tell me them. I don't give a shit.
Well, but he does.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait.
He does. He does. He's gonna wait. So okay.
The only reason I'm going to watch this is because I imagine it's going to tie into more shit. It's the only reason I'm going to watch the Marvels. It's the only reason I watched Ant-Man Quantumania.
Oh, I fucking love that one.
It was a really good movie.
I thought it was all right.
Really good movie.
The acting
It was
is.
I still have yet to watch Wakanda Forever because I don't care.
It really didn't have anything to do with anything other than Wakanda.
Well, another source of vibranium.
Yeah. It's another source of vibranium. We get to see what the seismic movements were that they reference in
It
Endgame.
really didn't have anything to do with the MCU.
I mean,
Yeah, Mesoamerican.
well, you get Namor now.
Whatever.
And then they killed him off
I
immediately.
don't need Fish Boy. I don't give a shit.
What? Come on, you're telling me Marvel's Aquaman is just as useless? I know he didn't die, but they dried him out of his water, so he's essentially fucking useless now. Which also I saw a lot of people making jokes about the fact that he is of Hispanic descent or Latino descent, and they literally dried his back off.
It's like him.
That's nice.
I saw a lot of jokes about that, and it made me laugh. I've not seen the scene, so I don't know it, but but come on, you don't want Marvel's Aquaman?
Yeah. No. Neymar with his little floaty fucking feet doesn't matter to me.
Does he look as homeless as fucking Jason Momoa does as Aquaman?
No.
I still think I know he is DC, but I still say Jason Momoa looks like a homeless drug addict who's buff.
Especially in Fast and the Furious 10.
I've not seen it, Kyla.
Oh my god.
Have you heard the reports, by the way, about Aquaman 2, about Jason Momoa?
No.
Apparently,
Loki,
I know. I've gone on a side tangent, but apparently he's getting bitched at or not bitched at, but people are complaining because he's showing up to set just shit-faced.
Oh, well, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, it's not awful. He's just getting shit-faced constantly.
Oh, yeah. I would be too if I was in Aquaman 2.
But yeah, Loki.
Yeah, so
I'm trying to think of something else that was pretty pertinent. New Volume 2 TVA guide. I don't know. That was cool.
yeah.
Do we think
If we're
do we think Mobius
4, 5, and 6? I mean, the TVA handbook, it can't be ignored because
Ouroboros.
Yeah, OB.
Short round.
Yeah, short round. And
That's a chance.
Did you see on his desk he had a New York Yankees cap?
Yes.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where I think it'll come up later.
OB?
OB.
The yellow TVA book.
Yes.
Oh, I think it will.
I think so.
I thought for sure when they cut to Victor Timely, he was going to drop the yellow one.
No.
Oh.
I thought.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, that was
showing the basically infinite loop of it.
Kind of, but no. Instead, you teach him how to do it by not looming it.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the TVA's running and Loki's just sitting on a throne. How in the fuck are they harnessing the temporal energy and protecting the whole place? That's the part I don't get. Because he's not like hooked to some machinery that's like he's got a plug in his butt, you know. It's like
also with
how are they getting any power off of the time? Like,
yeah, that is a good question.
How are they drawing that power? So,
but granted, the loom is what harnessed the power, so that is where the big question is. But I mean, there's temporal energy all around them, so theoretically, could they not just have a loom that doesn't grab the timelines? It just grabs the energy that is because I mean, we see when they step out of the blast doors, they are just getting blasted with temporal energy. It's all around. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
So technically, could they just not have to grab a timeline but still have a loom that's grabbing energy and converting it?
I guess, yeah. You like a
You could, but I think the whole point of the loom was the timelines.
Yes, that's why I said. That's why
I think it was control. It was how.
Oh, it's definitely
it was how.
That's why I said a version of the loom.
right.
I think it was a more of a malicious, like
Failsafe.
Idrisil existed before the TVA and the loom did. That tree was going before, so
Right.
He who remains chopped down the fucking tree. He chopped down the tree.
Correct.
Loki just regrew the tree, but that's what I'm saying. So.
Yes.
So, all right, I got a question now, though, and I might just be thinking too much about it.
Probably.
But go fuck yourself, Dad.
Bonus Pints is a craft beer and wine spin on the classic arcade. Located at 422 East Broadway in beautiful downtown Logansport, Bonus Pints is the anchor of the Bonus Building on the corner of Broadway and 5th Street. They have all your favorite classic arcade games and both classic and current pinball machines. Every Wednesday is trivia, and every Thursday and Friday there is live music. Come and bring your friends. The food, the music, the games, and the people. There is something for everyone at Bonus Pints.
I can't remember, have we ever actually seen besides for right now, of what I'll call the Loki tree, have we seen the actual Yggdrasil in the MCU?
No, because
well, so if you're
in Loki, in the earlier episodes of Loki, I think it was in the background.
We see pictures of it in the background and stuff.
Yes.
You're talking about actually seeing the tree as
like
a timeline tree. No, we haven't.
So what I'm gonna ask is then, is he? I mean, he is a form of Yggdrasil, but I don't think he is. Like, I don't think
he's not the tree.
That's yeah.
He's just literally planted the seeds, and he's in there helping keeping it fucking going.
Oh, the reason I was asking is because you kept saying that he remained basically chopped the tree. I didn't know if you literally metaphor. Oh, yeah, that's what.
Yes.
That's what my brain couldn't get around.
More a metaphor than anything.
My bad.
But
a little slow.
And if you remember in Infinity War or fucking Endgame when he time travels, when Tony Stark figures out time travel, it's on what is it? The inverted Mobius strip.
Yeah, it's a Mobius strip.
Yeah.
So that runs this way. In order for him to figure out time travel, he had to base his math on a loop instead of that.
Right.
So is that to say that time travel no longer works?
I think it does, but I think
because
I think
timeline's not a loop no more.
But so I think it still works. I just don't think it will. Like, I don't think it's a loop anymore.
Yeah.
But I think in order to time travel, it's going to be a lot harder because instead of basically jumping out and essentially going across to another part of the loop, you're going to have to jump out and essentially make a half circle back in on it. So I think it's still possible. It's just going to be a lot harder. You know what I mean?
It's kind of, I wonder how much it shakes things up for other people trying to time travel in future projects.
Correct.
Oh, it's going to fuck everybody.
I think it really fucks everybody.
Except Deadpool. Because he has Cable's
watch.
Well, and always remembering.
But that's where they go. I mean, that's why the TVA goes after him.
I also have a thought process, right?
Can't do.
Never mind. I'm curious now, since everything is broken apart, does Sylvie still have He Who Remains Tempad, his master Tempad?
Yeah.
So she's
always had it.
Well, that's what I was asking if she still has it, or if it would essentially be destroyed since they've redone, not completely, it's not like the TVA was destroyed, but they've revamped and changed everything. So but anyways, I was getting at, she's also now one of the other people who can then still walk around time freely as she pleases.
To me, she can do that.
Yeah. Because she has the master Tempad. No, she doesn't. I'm curious if we're ever going to see Sylvie and Mobius again. I imagine we're going to see
Okay.
B-15 or Boris again because I know we're going to see the TVA again. But with Mobius and Sylvie walking away, I wonder if we'll ever actually, or if they're just going to, in quotes, kill those characters off.
I think there's a potentiality for Mobius because they left him hanging. He was watching himself with his kids. So he knows that he has no true timeline to belong to. Therefore, he is the part of the TVA. Okay, like that's his existence.
Yeah, that
He's
is
gonna go
him.
down
You
there.
think he goes back?
He's gonna go ride some fucking jet skis, watch his fucking kids from a distance, and then he's like, "All right, well, I'll go back to work now."
I could see us like if we do see him again getting a montage because like we see him in the fair where
Yeah,
he plays like he's doing a slow burn undercover, but really he's just enjoying everything at the fair. I could see us getting something like that
Yeah.
where he's jumping,
Right.
maybe jumping timelines because I imagine he has a tempad if he
Yeah.
went back to
I
that
saw
timeline.
somebody say that they thought that Mobius and the two kids were variants of Odin,
And
Thor, and Loki.
that, I mean, that really could work because we do see when we do see
Because
the kids.
Mobius is
that
a
makes
variant
sense.
of Odin, and his two twin boys are variants of Loki and Thor.
Yeah, and Thor's always breaking shit, and Loki likes snakes.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
exactly.
what I mean. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so that makes
Somebody said, "Holy shit! I think that Mobius and his twin boys are variants of Odin, Thor, and Loki."
I think that works, honestly. Whether they intended
I
it
mean,
to.
that's
What if Odin, Thor, and Loki were stuck in an episode of Married with Children?
At first I thought you were gonna go. I thought you were gonna go Scarlet Witch and
No,
her kids, and I was like, oh, please don't try to do that one.
no. But it was interesting to see
I
them
did have
talk about that.
I do have a thought process that I thought about while I was watching it at work. Instead of which I don't see why they would do it this way, but do you think if we were to get, say, a House of M type story, instead of Wanda, could it be Loki essentially having some kind of mental breakdown inside of being the loom?
Not a
No.
chance. He
Nope.
had so many mental breakdowns that we didn't get to see on screen because we can't live that long.
Right. It was just a thought that came to mind.
No, I don't think so.
I think it would still be.
He's got his shit together. He knows exactly what he wants.
He had like 8 visible breakdowns in the.
Yeah.
That is very valid.
He got his golden throne to sit.
He had tons of breakdowns.
That he didn't
the 2
want.
seasons.
He states that in the finale also.
He didn't want it, but he did want it.
He didn't. He didn't.
Yeah.
He did, but he did.
He did, but he did.
I don't think he wanted the consequences that came with it, but he ultimately did want a throne.
I think
Because I think by the end of it, he didn't.
wanted a. Well, yeah.
Because he's always
Yeah.
wanted that glorious purpose, as the title of the episode was.
Right.
So the reason I say that is I think throughout the last 2 seasons, he has become so attached to his now family that he doesn't want the consequences of the throne, but he still wants to have that glorious purpose of the throne.
Correct.
I
think
like
that's
how
the
he
whole
just
purpose.
fucking walked out there.
Yeah.
Just walked on out there.
When he finally realized it, or
Yeah.
after the conversation. I really loved how he basically played into He Who Remains is oh, you don't know how to control time yet. I figured you would have found that out by now. Oh, I imagine we've had this conversation a bunch, blah 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 blah, and then finally Loki's like stops the time on his own. It was like, how do you know we haven't had this conversation?
Correct. That was the best.
I loved
that
it.
was the.
I had to rewatch that. I rewatched that part a couple times because I was like, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, no, that was the greatest.
I love Tom Hiddleston and he's amazing.
He goes to meet with Sylvie to kind of discuss the whole "am I gonna have to kill you" kind of thing.
Right.
And then he's just rewinding time around, and then he leaves, and he's just like, "All right, you're getting dusted, bitch."
Yeah.
Or spaghetti.
Yeah.
Spaghettified.
Yeah. Yeah. It was definitely the last episode had things that surprised me, but I think it ended the way it needed to.
Oh, I agree.
Now, whether or not it leads to a third season, I'm not sure.
I don't think we're getting a third season.
I don't think we're getting a third
I
season.
was I was
I don't
telling
think
Brad.
we're done with Loki.
I think he's gonna.
But I don't think we're getting a third season.
No, here's my thought. Are we done with this Loki?
We're done with Loki Prime.
Well, we've been done with technically Loki Prime from the Sacred Timeline, if you want to look at it that way.
If you want to look at it that way. But we're definitely done with this Loki.
TBA Loki.
Because I don't think that
he's a variant of that particular Loki.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't think he can unattach himself from where he's at.
I think he could if he wanted to.
I don't think he can. I think shit would go sideways if he did. I think the only way is variants. I think we get variants.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I don't think Tom Hiddleston's done.
No.
I don't think
God, no. He better not be.
No, I don't think so.
I love him too much as Loki.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think so.
It'll be fun when we get the Lokis that are like, are you which one are you?
Where did you come from in the timeline?
Yeah.
Is Frigga dead?
Yeah.
Have you betrayed Thanos yet? Oh shit. Pretend that didn't happen.
Yeah. It'll be and then how I'm interested because the next thing that comes out other than Echo, which really doesn't count.
I mean, Echo's just going to be around fucking your basic Street Fighters.
Right. And it's under a new thing. They put it under Marvel Spotlight now instead of Marvel Studios.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, so they changed. So the street level fighters like Daredevil and Echo and Kingpin, they're doing Marvel. It's called Marvel Spotlight instead of Marvel.
Is that their way of basically telling us they're going to forever stay separated?
Street level are probably going to stay separated from everybody else.
They're separate but equal. It's okay.
Yeah.
There's going to have to be a time where, like, it's some, Daredevil and She-Hulk trying to fight Kingpin, and then, like, one of his henchmen gets crushed by a giant fucking spaceship, and they're like,
it's above our pay grade.
Yeah, exactly. That
upsets me because I was really hoping to see Moon Knight come to the big screen into the cinema.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen.
I was hoping for it. I knew it probably would.
Think it's gonna happen.
As cool as Moon Knight is, for him to be stuck at street level kind of sucks.
Yeah, no, seriously, it does.
Oh yeah.
Because street level to me is hand-to-hand combat, like Daredevil, Elektra.
I mean, read the comics. That's all Moon Knight does is hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah, but Moon Knight is different because he crosses weird plane.
Moon Knight's different because
a weird plane.
If they take it the comic book
with fucking like,
if you take it the comic book route, he can't fucking he can die, but Khonshu can resurrect him basically until they decide to quit writing the comic books.
Yes. Right. And that's
pretty super.
Yeah. And that's different than like Daredevil.
But I also think thinking about it now because of, and I know we're off of Loki, but we're talking Marvel, but with how Moon Knight works with his dissociative disorder, his multiple personalities, I don't think you could ever actually put him in a movie and explain all of that keep it intact with how short of a runtime typically movies are, because they did hour-long episodes. I think 8 episodes, 8 hours, and I still felt like I didn't get it because we didn't even get his third personality. We did, but we did.
The only way they could do Moon Knight,
like a crooked mirror look.
The only way they could,
and the end credits scene.
It'll depend on how they do Blade.
Did you see Blade is supposed to be? I believe I saw rated R.
Yes.
Hey, vampires can be street level.
Well,
Vampires ain't gonna take over space.
also
No, I get that.
thinking about it, if we
but
do,
depending on how they do Blade, they could do Moon Knight in the same way.
also
That's my thought.
see what I was thinking about when you bring up Blade is depending on how Blade goes, also could keep Moon Knight into a street level thing because for like especially if you go off the 2021 series that's going off.
Yeah.
His whole thing is just being a street level crime fighter.
I don't know how Blade is in the MCU and not in the spotlight. You know what I mean? Like to me, Blade is street level.
Oh yeah.
But like they've got, I mean, it's a movie, so he's going to be not. But
But do you think it's a movie just because of the fact it's
well,
Blade?
in the
Like,
Eternals, at the end of it, that's Blade's sword. So is he
oh, I didn't think about that.
right? So are they technically saying
Blade's an Eternal?
Do you think Blade is gonna meet Loki?
let's get us back on track?
Hey, we're still talking Marvel.
Okay, so we need to get back to Loki. That's what you're. That's what.
No, I think
That's what Brad said.
no. This has relevance to.
It really doesn't have any relevance other than where Marvel might go, I guess.
I mean, we are also talking about the future of the MCU with the fact that Loki technically has just changed the whole universe yet
He
again for
changed
a
this-
second.
The whole spectrum of where everything's going.
I love how season 1 we open up the basically with killing He Who Remains, opened everything up, even though he scripted everything.
Correct.
And then now we've opened it up essentially even farther because Loki's going to allow anything and everything to go.
So now Star
Correct.
Wars is canon in the MCU.
It better be,
I think
bitch.
so.
There's a timeline that
I think
Star
so.
Wars is real
I think so.
because there's an infinite amount of possibilities on the timelines. So therefore,
If there's an
One of
infinite
those-
amount of possibilities, then
one of those-
eventually Marvel and DC are one universe.
Marvel and DC or Marvel and Star Wars?
dude, there's a
All of it.
timeline on
All of
the
it.
fucking tree that is just DC.
Oh,
It's
probably.
like, yeah, Marvel never happened here.
None of this shit ever happened on this one.
I love how we're now thinking of it in a Deadpool fourth wall break.
It is that is definitely Deadpool. 100%.
He'll walk in.
That'll be our version of Deadpool kills the MCU.
So,
He just goes and trims the brand.
It kills me that you guys haven't. Have you guys seen any of the spoilers on the Marvels at all?
I've been kept.
Mother.
I'm good.
I read the spoilers. Like it's
I just don't give a shit.
you don't give a shit.
I like Captain Marvel. I didn't need Kamala Khan.
It like
I want to
it.
see what Photon's got going on.
I do want to see Photon.
Oh my god! It opens up. It opens up. Oh mother!
It opens.
Yeah, it opens up a scene, and it's a movie. Mother trucker.
You fucking
All right,
hard muffins.
so what Loki does is kind of like so. As you move forward with Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars and Deadpool 3, Deadpool 3, by the way, is the only MCU movie in all of the calendar year of 2024.
I didn't know that.
I didn't realize they pushed that many back.
They pushed them all back because of the strike. So the only 2024 MCU movie is Deadpool.
I also
Everything else is
good.
So
everything else has been pushed back to 2020.
you said Kang Dynasty, and I thought about it. Brought a light bulb up. We all, or me and you heard. I don't remember if we talked about it. The rumors that they're talking about going away from Kang and making Victor the big bad. Could this have Victor Doom? Could this have been their way of doing that with Loki?
Absolutely.
Opening that's like
Absolutely.
Making Loki completely make He Who Remains irrelevant, but also still pruning branches stopping a Kang, stopping a multiversal war.
He's not technically making He Who Remains irrelevant. He is literally having every possible villain there is ever.
That is true, yeah.
Every villain in multiple copies. There's multiple Victor Von Dooms now. There's not just one. There's a fucking assload of them, including the one who
Right.
omnipotent and rules the entire fucking everything. And
Yeah.
there's no more Loki in the throne.
Yeah. Yes.
See.
Yes.
There's the next thing. That's how the fucking big bads are probably going to go. They're going to start gunning for Loki.
I think what they do with Jonathan Majors is that Kang as we know him, either Kang the Conqueror or He Who Remains, doesn't exist anymore.
I'd say it's He Who Remains, because
Correct.
we have the Council of Kangs still.
But we keep the Council of Kangs.
And they're a minor bad guy, essentially.
They're a major bad guy, but they're able to monitor the usage of Jonathan Majors because there's so many of them.
Yeah.
So, like, instead of Kang the Conqueror or He Who Remains or Victor Timely being the big bad, you get the Council of Kangs, which is Jonathan Majors as like 75, 150 different characters.
Well, the three
it's
three
kind of-
big ones we saw were from Quantumania, which are
Correct.
Roman Tut and
But I don't think
The other
they're
two.
actually ever going to be the big bads. I think the council.
Honestly, I think they will recast each individual Kang as a new person. And they ain't smart. They should, because Ramatut should not look like Victor Timely.
Correct. Correct.
Ramatut was a
If I also, and I can actually pull up the pictures, if I remember correctly, I think.
There were several.
Well, what I'm saying is, I think they painted his face to make it all to make it match his headdress yellow. So technically, they could do that.
Well, and it's.
Or are you saying facial, actual structure?
He shouldn't. Yeah, he shouldn't look like the same person, because if you look at the variants of Kang in the comic books, they're always depicted as a whole ass new character.
I mean, yeah, you're correct with
And
that.
Ramatut's origins are like.
No, they didn't paint his face. I thought they did.
Origins are like ancient fucking Egypt. So would he not look better if he was a native Egyptian?
I mean, yeah, you are correct there.
And like Iron Lad's.
Oh, this is the one I'm thinking of.
Iron
The
Lad, I think, is
one they painted blue.
There's a bunch of different ones. There's Kangs that are just.
Why are these all in such low quality when this is on Disney Plus?
It shouldn't be. It should be plus perfection.
What do you think about Loki's new set of horns?
I love.
Oh, the horns were fantastic.
I love that the temporal aura tourway is closed, or the radiation tourway is closed, and gave him this new outfit.
I felt like,
or however you want to put it, transformed it.
I felt like when they cut back to the other people after he got his clothes, that Mobius was just thinking like, "Wow,
Yeah.
Why didn't we get? Did we ever get a wow?
Well, I don't know that we ever did.
Wow.
That would have been the time to give us the wow. Come on now.
Wow.
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 They probably did. It was probably written in there, and he was like, "Come on, guys."
Really? You're gonna make me do it in this one too?
Oh yeah. Any other good points? I like how they repurposed Miss Minutes. Acknowledge that is she going to kill us all? And then I don't know.
I was that was one of the disappointing parts for me. Like I get,
Yeah,
it was nice that they repurposed her, but I really honestly thought she was going to be the big bad guy.
I really thought
She just ended up being
I will say I am
wire proof.
a fucked up program. Like that was it.
I will say I'm disappointed with Miss Minutes and Renslayer and their character arcs this season. Because we got barely, besides for, well, I guess let me rephrase that. Miss Minutes' character arc was good. I don't think she got enough screen time. I was not a fan that she got basically shut down and never booted back up until everything.
Right.
until
Right.
everything came
Right.
back. We saw her for a episode.
Right. We saw her be a
Well,
complete bitch.
I mean,
And,
we
like,
saw
badass for one episode,
And then we saw
it,
her
like,
for-
went away.
we saw her and Renslayer for 2 seconds. Renslayer for 4 this episode. Because
Right.
there's that scene where Loki busts in on the war room when they're trying to talk to Timely.
Right.
And then there's Renslayer in the Void. We got nothing out of those two. Their character arcs sucked dick.
Right. And it could have been so much better.
I just wish
They
they should have got more screen time. I don't know how they would have, but I wish they would have.
Like,
Okay, put yourself in, this is kind of off subject. Put yourself in the shoes of like Mobius and everybody in those rooms when you guys walked in with a panicky Loki that didn't know what the fuck was going on. And then as soon as you get in the room, he starts spouting all the fucking physics and math, and he starts doing it. Oh my god, doing it.
I lose my mind. I lose my mind.
Mobius even
What's going on right
we
now?
see that a little bit with Mobius. Mobius is like, "Hey, what is going on?" He's like, "Hey, don't worry, I got this." He's like, "No, seriously, what are you
What
doing?"
is going on? Yeah. Yeah. No. We saw that a couple of different times. For sure.
I loved how he
For
kept
sure.
finishing everybody's sentences.
Yes. Yes. He kept it.
Moby, it looks like somebody's gunning for your job. Yes, you're correct. And technically, he did take his job.
Yes.
He fucking learned all the fucking engineering and calculations and then became the loom. He took everything.
Yeah, he took everything. He took everything.
He took everybody's job in a way.
Right, right. And it was
insane.
That was insane. Yeah. For sure. The I can't believe, and then the sentries. He took sentries, like he just automatically knows everything.
Victor Timely said it'd take centuries.
Right.
So he took the time to do it.
Right.
And it took centuries because he had what, like 45 seconds every time he time slipped? Because until after the centuries, he doesn't quit going back to that one spot.
Right. Right.
So he takes
jumping around between different areas.
Because after the centuries point is when he starts jumping backwards farther, and it's like, wait, it took you centuries to realize, hey, I should just come right back to this point.
Right, right.
Which also and obviously they answer it later on with the loom is just a failsafe. There's no way to fix it. But my immediate thought after it fails like 3 times, and watching it fail 3 times in the TV show, I was like, why doesn't he just time slip and grab like right as soon as he gets dropped the book? Because that really makes him He Who Remains. It's when the timeline splits. Grab him as a child and shove his head in the machine. You have enough time immediately. Because you
shove his head in the machine. Yeah, no shit. Put your head in the fucking machine. Why did you grab the kid? What the fuck are we doing?
It took centuries for something that he could have. It's kind of like the big. Grab the
Game Boy. Fucking grab the kid and shove his head.
Because he goes back and grabs the kid and does it. And that, like back in that time, he can just put on the suit, throw the thing in there.
Correct.
Granted, then it takes another like 300 years for them to find out it doesn't fucking work.
It does. At the end of the whole thing, he's like, I did this for nothing. Like, seriously, he did. I did this for nothing.
It made me
Oh, yeah. I was
feel bad.
For a minute there, I didn't realize I didn't realize Loki was going to end up fixing it when they were like, yeah, no, it's just never going to work. I was like, hold on, are we just going to end with everything fucking exploding?
It's all gone. It's all fucking.
None of it matters. None of it matters.
I thought they were going to end the series off with just like, hey, nothing matters. You're all fucked. And
yeah, nothing matters.
Deal with it.
Yeah. Good luck. Nothing matters. None of this mattered at all. Located at 430 East Broadway in beautiful downtown Logansport, on the bonus level, the second floor of Bonus Pints, is the Lantern. The Lantern is a glowing light in a small town. They're a shop filled with art, clothing, books, and all your current Halloween needs. They are currently carrying cat skull candles, black cat drinking glasses, Halloween-themed dresses, and shirts, and some 3D horror decor that will scratch your Halloween itch. Check out their Facebook page for when they are open and what new items they are stocking daily. So, yeah, I was floored. The whole thing was just it wasn't the direction I thought they were going.
No, I would agree with that.
I feel like I had a chunk of some thought kind of going that way, but everything I was predicting went to shit. Like, yeah, shit.
I think
Like, I was on a good track. I was hitting my numbers, man. I had predicted a lot of stuff, and then it was like, nope.
I mean, I think
No.
with new rock stars calling him the god of stories and pulling that comic book line out of nowhere last week when that episode dropped, I think they were the only people that had any sort of idea that could have guessed it.
Yeah.
So I didn't hear anyone else bring up that thought
And
process.
I think God of Stories is a good,
It's what
it's a good explanation.
I mean, it's what he became.
Nah.
No, he became the tree.
Yes.
He's a tree. Right?
Yeah, he's the king of
He's the king of the timeline.
yeah.
He's the king of the timeline.
Master.
I mean, but what is the timeline?
For puppets.
What would the timeline be if not just a bunch of stories making him the god of stories?
Oh,
God of Stories is a lesser rank than what he is.
I'm just using it as a technicality, god damn it. He's still telling fucking stories essentially. By allowing time to continue on, he's telling the story, man.
yeah, I get it.
He is
King Loki.
He won.
Loki who remains.
He is Loki who reigns. That is for sure. He is Loki who remains. There's no doubt about that. And I don't know how he works into the rest of it, but I'm sure he does.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Well, I mean,
He's got it. He's got it.
I wish we would have still got an interaction with him and Thor after he had lived centuries through the timeline, like doing all this crazy shit. Like, what if he would have just bust in on somewhere in Thor Ragnarok and was like, "You got to get your shit together." But
Just busted. What the fuck are you doing?
That would be great.
and then just gone.
Yeah, that would have been great.
Yeah.
If any timeline, honestly, if he would have done that any timeline, that would have been great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you think he shows up in other shows and movies?
It won't be until Kang Dynasty.
I was gonna
You don't
say.
think so?
Yeah.
So the TVA is the big bad in Deadpool. So is it just B-15?
Is it
TVA is
confirmed
the
as
big bad.
TVA is the big bad, or is that they're just in it?
Or they
No, I thought they were the bad guy.
not the bad guy no more.
I thought they were the bad guy in Deadpool.
They can't be.
My thing is the TVA being quote unquote the bad guy is. I mean, I get what you're saying. I was just, A, yeah, it's right. It's all from perspective, but B, I think the TVA is going to play a minor role in it. As in, they're going to, I think, prune them out of the timeline. And then out of what, I think they're going to jump to a new timeline. TVA is going to find them, prune them. And after that's all the TVA is going to play in it. I don't think we're going to see B-15 be a main character in this. I don't think we're going to see.
You don't think?
I think we're going to see them a little bit.
We think that Casey, B-15, and Ouroboros will be.
Well, Mobius is in it.
Are gonna
B-15 is a named character now too. She has a name, and she is
Tom Hiddleston is in it.
she's a prominent. Yeah,
See, I hadn't looked at it. I didn't know.
Oh shit! Well,
Tars.
Peter's in it. If Peter's in it, we're good.
Well, yeah, we got Miss Minutes. We got a couple people that are unnamed. Elektra's in it.
Is Tara Strong still?
Miss Minutes. It's right there.
Is she still the voice?
Peter's from Deadpool 2.
From Deadpool 1 and 2?
No, just 2.
Fair.
I thought it was just 2.
He's swear. Come on, Sugar Bear.
Yeah, just 2.
He wasn't in the first one?
No.
No, he was in 2 when they were looking for other superheroes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Who else was in that?
It's Tara Strong, Owen Wilson, Tom Hiddleston. There's a couple people that are. We get Dopinder back. The taxi driver.
Oh, Dopinder.
Yeah, Dopinder.
We got Loki. We got Shatterstar.
Mobius.
Shatterstar is really in it.
Shatterstar.
Right.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Louis Tan.
No. So died in Deadpool 2.
So did Peter.
No.
No,
Peter didn't
he went
die.
back and saved him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peter didn't die. I was thinking he was the one that fucking lived.
He is the one that lived.
But I mean, if they're jumping in time, does it matter who died in the movie?
Probably not. Who's Matthew McFadden playing?
It's not named, just like Fabian's not named, just like actress is not, I imagine, a name of a character.
All right. It looks like Big Al's in it.
Blind Owl.
Blind Owl.
Big Al.
Big Al. Blind Owl.
Yeah, Blind
My
Owl.
wife's
Yeah.
Big Owl.
That's Blind Owl.
I just love how every time something pops up and when they're in the apartment with her and she's like, pointing a gun the wrong way and
That's the best.
yeah.
I also love the dumb joke of I left the cure for blindness next to a bunch of kilos of cocaine. And then he pulls up the floorboard and there's a thing that says cure for blindness as he shoves a brick of cocaine in his mask. I lose it still every time. Imagine that smacking it.
That's the best. He hits himself, it all powders out. That is the best.
I
Deadpool 2.
fucking loved it.
So this has to be. So I don't think Echo has anything to do with Loki.
My question is, why are we getting Elektra?
Yeah.
No. It's because it's multiverse.
Yeah,
He's jumping multiverse.
my question.
Ben Affleck Daredevil in this.
Okay, well, Ben Affleck's not listed here.
Well, I fucking understand that, mother trucker.
That's why I'm asking, why do we have Elektra if we don't have a
No,
Daredevil
No,
listed?
Ben Affleck's Daredevil in this. I'm telling you right now. Google it. Google it, bitch.
Ben Affleck returns as Matt Murdock, aka Daredevil, in new MCU fan and promoting Marvel Studios' upcoming Deadpool 3.
And to quote Bert, suck it, suck it, suck it.
Emma Corrin is the
villain.
It's the villain. What does that mean?
one listed as actress.
The
Yeah.
one listed as actress. So who is she?
She's actress.
Hey, Dad, do you think either of us two have any more knowledge looking at the same screen as you, jackass?
Listen, sucker.
Asking us who she's playing? The fuck?
Oh, Dick.
Whatever, Dick.
Google Emma Corrin Deadpool 3.
I'm not seeing anything. Just besides that she's on it. And she has a quote, I feel really excited to play a villain. I haven't done that, and it's an itch I want to scratch.
Get that.
They couldn't tell her anything about it because it's classic Marvel.
Spider-Man, Black Panther.
Apparently she doesn't even know what this is about. Blah, 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 blah. What female villain? No, I won't.
Domino?
No, Domino.
No,
Domino.
Domino was in Deadpool
Yeah,
2. So,
but I know I'm pretty sure Domino's supposed to be in Deadpool 3.
I don't think she is she? Is his girl
Won't return as Domino.
is his girlfriend in
Vanessa is in it.
Vanessa's in it?
Yeah, right
Oh,
there.
she's right there.
Um, I I had the weird.
Is she Cyclops?
Cyclops.
Psylocke? Is she Psylocke?
Olivia Munn is Psylocke.
Yeah, in fucking 5 movies ago.
Hey, Hugh Jackman was Wolverine in the fucking Fox universe. So
Yeah, I know, I'm aware, but I'm just saying, is she
my dumbass brain went.
Deadpool villains, and Psylocke is one of them. Psylocke, Domino.
I mean, it's Deadpool. We could go completely goofy and just make it Death herself.
It could be Death. It could be Death. Absolutely.
Because I mean, also with Vanessa being in it, you don't know what I'm referencing, do you?
No. I don't know.
And fucking, there are multiple characters throughout the comic book because Death is an actual female character. And with Vanessa being in it, I get that they're jumping through time, but also I wonder if he tries to bargain with Death, and that's his main villain that he's trying to deal with. I'm literally just throwing some random shit out there.
He could be jumping through. She could end up just being an agent
of the TVA.
And he could be jumping through time trying to figure out, find a good time to get
Deadpool.
Or, what's her name? Vanessa.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
To save her.
Okay. I mean, yeah. But I feel like if Deadpool, also, if he has Cable's watch, though, and can jump through time, couldn't he just grab her before the fucking apartment?
Well, so here's my question.
Or just go to the apartment.
About Typhoid Mary.
What?
Typhoid?
I've heard that name
what about
before.
Typhoid Mary?
I don't know anything about her, but I've heard her referenced before.
So do you think Loki shows up in Deadpool 3?
Well, yeah, he's right here. In the cast with Mobius.
Trucker. I'm aware. But in what capacity?
I don't think he shows up as the I don't think he shows up as like I still think like I brought up the last Loki episode that we did. I still think this is going to take place in the timeline before season 2 ever happened.
You think this is before Loki season 2?
Yes. I think it's before Loki season 2 because if they're pruning branches, why would they if they're pruning shit, still, if they're pruning the void, why are they or if they're pruning into the void, is basically are they still doing is the TVA still doing that under Loki's control? Are they still pruning or does Loki do that for him? Not prune him, but essentially because like Brad referenced with the poster, they have a poster about nurturing nature with the tree and nurturing the timelines to help them grow. So are they still even pruning them? So what is the purpose of the void?
I think they're pruning what needs to be bad shit, essentially. And whatever Deadpool's doing is usually so highly disruptive that they're probably going to try to run him down first.
But I also look at it as
I don't think they're pruning anymore.
Because Loki, through Sylvie's thought process, Loki understands that everyone needs a fucking chance.
Yeah, I don't think they're pruning anymore.
So why would they show up in the void like we've seen in behind the scenes footage in Deadpool 3? Why are they in the void if this is after season 2?
I think they are pruning.
Maybe they are.
You prune a tree, man. You prune them. flowers, prune a plant. That's where the term came from. It didn't come from timelines.
So do you think that like Loki's sending messages to them saying, "Hey, you need to prune this and that"?
Because otherwise they have no knowledge of what to do and
How
how.
do they monitor the timeline like they do any other time?
They can monitor the timeline because it was hooked up to the loom.
He is the loom. He's just the loom. He just sits.
But you also,
Just the loom.
but you also made the point. Does he have something plugged into his butt?
Well, no. Look, the technology.
I'm just quoting.
Monitors. There were no cables. There were no wires hooked to the loom. The loom was just to weave the actual timelines around. Their technology for reading things in temp pads were not hooked to that. They ran outside of it. So the TVA would still run outside of that so long as the timeline isn't spaghettified and everything. They're still drawing their power like they would if it was a loop, but instead it's a big ass fucking tree. And the danger is that people can come off of this tree and fuck everything up.
Okay.
So, like, it's not that it's like everything would still run. So, I'm thinking that Deadpool is going to cause enough disruption. And there's going to be incursions
around.
Because if you start getting incursions, it kills other branches. And when one branch is killing one branch, you cut off the fucking one bad branch. So, they absolutely are going to still prune because that's how you keep it healthy. But they're not going to just blanket prune it.
Correct.
Like
the previous TVA.
It's done.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. No, I get you. Yeah. Yeah. No, you're right.
Yeah.
They're not gonna. Yeah. They're not gonna do it like just free willy like the last ones did. So yeah, I get that. All right. That makes sense. So,
I wish I could find a screen grab of that damn.
Is Loki gonna? Here's my question. So is Loki going to? Does he? Is he going to communicate with the TVA? Like, if he's the tree that holds the 9 realms together, can he communicate?
See, tiny timeline, cut and branch off a tree. That was in the show. I think it's not so much as he's communicating. I think he is literally just sitting there watching, keeping that whole thing going.
But how do they know what to prune?
Because they use their computers to figure it. It's like He Who Remains didn't tell him to go prune this timeline.
That's true.
Sit there and go tell them to prune.
That's true. That's true.
Do their jobs like they all.
So at what point? Because B-15 is a believer that everybody should be free will.
Well,
so at what point do they decide to prune? Like, do they set a parameter?
Yeah, if it's detrimental to the entire multiverse. If that timeline's going to ruin a bunch of others,
so it'd be like Deadpool jumping fucking timeline to timeline to timeline to timeline,
making a bunch of new ones that are all occurring with them.
That would
blow it up.
Fuck with them. That would make them go after him.
They're like, "Whoa, what the fuck is this guy doing?"
Yeah.
And then they find Wolverine, and they're like, "Oh fuck."
Yeah. I really wish you guys would have read the spoilers for the Marvels.
Not gonna do it.
I know. Well,
tell him to cover his ears, and you can tell me.
No. We'll discuss it at some point. I haven't watched the Marvels, and I probably should, but I've read the spoilers, so I know what's going on. And it's fucking mind-blowing.
I'll probably listen to a bunch of YouTubers tell me about it and wait for it to hit Disney Plus because I don't feel like going to it.
It'll be months before it hits Disney Plus.
Hey, I did the same thing for Ant-Man. I did the same thing for Wakanda Forever.
Wakanda Forever, you could have done.
I still haven't. Let me rephrase that. I still haven't even watched Wakanda Forever.
Fantastic.
I was drunk and fell asleep like a quarter of the way through.
Wakanda Forever.
Yeah. I turned it on thinking it was gonna be enjoyable, and I fell asleep.
It was okay, but it wasn't one of their best. They're honestly at this point, like Loki's the best thing they've done.
Oh yeah, Loki is their
years.
yeah.
Yeah, maybe even ever. Yeah, I mean Loki is the 2 seasons of Loki, especially the second one, is just very good storytelling. It's very good storytelling.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I definitely think they need to take Loki as a, I don't know whether you want to call it as a sign or all of as a sign with all of the positive feedback it gets, that they need to, whoever directed and wrote, or I know there's multiple directors, but whoever overall wrote the story out for this shit needs to either have a position upgrade or needs to become a head writer for shit,
Right.
because they know what they're doing.
Right.
And they know how to make a good story, make it enjoyable, actually make each episode seem worth it, instead of She-Hulk or
Was
Captain.
writers for the first season up for awards? I thought they were.
I believe so. Oh, how do I want to put this?
Loki season 1 awards. That's what you want to put.
Yeah, you're right. I was trying to look specifically for writers,
Loki
but
was nominated for 6, right?
Primetime Creative Arts Emmy Awards, 5 Critics' Choice Super Awards, winning 1 of them, 1 Harvey Award, 1 Hugo Award, 3 MTV Movie and TV Awards, winning 2 of those, 4 People's Choice Awards, winning 2 of those, 1 Screen Actors Guild Award, 4 Visual Effects Society Awards, winning 1 of those, and it cut off right there. Oh, it just says it just says among others.
Nominated 3 MTV Movie Awards.
Yeah, I said
winning
that one.
2.
Yeah, I said that part.
Oh. Yeah, so they weren't like, even season 1 wasn't nominated for like a Golden Globe or an Emmy.
Really? It was nominated for 6 Primetime Creative Arts Emmy Awards.
Okay, like click on that.
I'm just saying, right there it says 6 Emmy Awards that it was nominated for.
Are a class of Emmy Awards presented in? Okay, but I mean, like the actors and the writers.
Yeah, but it never won a Dundee Award.
You know what I mean?
Has anyone won an award for Marvel shit, like specifically?
Angela Bassett won, right? For Wakanda Forever.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I also
Yeah.
don't pay attention to most of the awards shows, so that was a genuine
I
question.
usually don't like her as an actress, but she did.
Located at 430 East Broadway in beautiful downtown Logansport, on the bonus level, the second floor of Bonus Pines, is Savini Comics. Savini Comics has all your toys, gaming, and comic needs. We have Dungeons and Dragons. We have Magic the Gathering. We have Pokemon. We have Disney Lorcana. We have Marvel and DC comic books. We have Marvel and DC figures. We have Star Wars. We have wrestling. Come join us at Savini Comics for all your gaming, toys, and comic book needs.
So wait, out of all of the Marvel movies, the only thing that, like, for a specific person, like with writers or actors, the only person that won anything was for Wakanda Forever, which again I can.
No, that's definitely, that can't be true. There's got to be other.
Well, I'm just saying that when I asked, that was the only one that was listed.
That was the first one I remember. Type in MCU awards. See what pops up.
Academy Awards, Best Sound Editing, Iron Man,
Okay,
Best Visual.
no, like important shit. So Black Panther got best.
I love your
Was nominated for. I don't give a shit about visual effects. Are you fucking serious?
So what most of the MCU is.
Yeah, but I'm talking like picture, actress, actor, director, shit like that. People, stuff people actually care about. So Black Panther was nominated but didn't win.
You're gonna give me an aneurysm by saying the shit people actually care about when one of the most biggest critiques I ever hear about nowadays is how the fucking visual effects suck cock or they've been amazing. That's the only complaints you ever or praises you ever seem to hear about nowadays. So tell me again how it's stuff people don't care about.
But I'm telling you that the last year, Indiana Jones was probably the best visual effects that I've ever seen, and it probably didn't win the motherfucking award. It was probably Oppenheimer, who didn't have any visual effects at all, but probably won because they're a bunch of dicks.
Yeah, I mean, I get your point there.
Thank you.
I can see your point there. I don't know what they classify as visual effects because if it's
Think CGI. If you can make Harrison Ford
visuals, anything
80 look like he's 40, you should win a motherfucking award.
Visual would technically be anything you could see, which Christopher Nolan recreating the fucking first ever explosion of the Trinity bomb.
Okay, if Christopher Nolan could make me look like I was 20, then he should get a motherfucking award. Your silence tells me everything I need to
I'm
know.
dumbfounded by the fact that you care more about the fact an 80-year-old can look like a 20-year-old, which I could do myself using a fucking computer program, and not literally recreating a fucking explosion in actual real life.
Maybe. I've seen explosions in real life.
He really recreated the Trinity bomb, not making it a nuclear bomb, but he recreated the whole explosion of the first ever nuclear test for the movie. Which is also, you could say,
or fake.
In real life, he did an actual. He had the department make an actual fucking bomb.
Well, I mean,
and dropped it and exploded it, just like in The Dark Knight. They used an actual fucking retired hospital for the Joker scene where he explodes the hospital. That is a real building.
That's a real hospital.
Because Christopher Nolan doesn't do anything in CGI. He refuses to.
I'm aware. He blowing it up, and the thing really didn't work.
He Michael Bayed it.
Yeah.
He Michael Bayed it.
He Michael Bayed it.
He did. All right. Whatever.
I'm saying.
Whatever.
I will also make that argument there that Oppenheimer probably deserves that for recreating the Trinity bomb.
What were we talking about?
Loki. We were talking awards for. We were talking about the awards for the MCU. Well, at first it was awards for Loki, and then it was awards for the MCU. I brought up awards, and you told me no, not those. Those don't matter. Only the important ones. And I'm arguing that visual effects is very important.
I value. I'd be more on topic than you.
That's probably fair. So,
hold on. Since when have we cared about a fucking topic? We do this every week. This is what a podcast is. Holy shit. How many people actually listen to podcasts in this room?
So, do we have anything else to talk about Loki?
Besides that, it was a fantastic TV show.
It was a fantastic TV show. Tom Hiddleston is wonderful.
Do you think he got one in through those centuries of learning? Do you think he figured out? Did he, give it the old Groundhog's Day?
You think?
Try and kill himself?
Tried to just sleep with Sylvie at the end.
No!
There's a Luke and Leia. There's a 100-year stretch. He's like, fuck it, I'm just gonna fuck one more.
It's not even a Luke and Leia situation.
It would literally just be a Luke and Luke situation. Just a female Luke.
Walking to a closet and masturbating is no different.
Yeah.
Correct.
Except he's got a couple extra hands.
So I'll flip that masturbation conundrum. So is Sylvie the Loki moving forward?
No.
No.
Why?
She's done.
too. She's got the original timeline.
So she
from was supposed to exist.
But she's got it.
She made a
She's got the
decision.
time thing.
Well, yeah,
but she made a decision when she left He Who Remains' office after the first season. She could have went to her original timeline if she wanted to. She chose that timeline in with the McDonald's with that.
Yeah.
Whether it's just because it was the first one and she was like, "Oh my god, this is amazing free
But we
will."
don't see what she does after Loki does the tree.
No, we don't. She says
So
she's
does
going to
she
go off on her
become-
own.
yeah, she went with Mobius.
No, but she says she's going to go off on her own, and Mobius says he's going to stay there and
She
let
went
time
with what the
pass.
McDonald's was like.
That's my assumption is she went back to that timeline because she states over and over again at the beginning of the season. And yes, we see that characters grow and change throughout the season, but she never changes her point that she just wants free will and just wants to live a normal
What if
fucking
she
life.
was going to her original timeline, and she's just on Earth.
Okay, I see what you're
She's
saying.
on Earth eating cheeseburgers in the 80s. While
She just didn't go to the
Actually-
Asgard of her time. Like, she's in her timeline, just didn't go to Asgard. She went to Earth instead.
It's got two Lokis chilling on it right now.
Because, well, would it be two Lokis though? Because wasn't Sylvie technically?
two girl Lokis?
Well,
Variant.
Yeah.
well, I'm saying if she went back to her original timeline, the one she was pulled from, wouldn't she technically just be replacing herself
The
then?
No,
The timeline's split.
not at all.
Anytime the decision is made, it makes two timelines, right? So her timeline was supposed to go a certain way. And for a brief moment, she thought differently. When she did it, sprouted a new timeline, which creates another version of the female Loki. She is a variant, meaning the original still existed. The variant branches off.
But with it also creating two timelines, technically, couldn't she just stay in the one where she got pulled out of it?
She could have, if they hadn't already pruned it long ago when she was a little girl. They
I guess you
pulled her
have
out
a
of
point
it.
there.
They pulled her out.
I
of it.
forgot about the bombs.
Yeah, they used to bomb the timeline. So her timeline's been destroyed.
I
since
forgot they just
before any of
straight
this happened.
Hiroshima and Nagasaki that
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
They nuke it into oblivion.
Every variant's true timeline has been bombed, and that is why they are in the TVA now.
I did forget.
Not the TVA, the Void.
No, that's why they're in.
They call them to the TVA
They
for
were-
their trials.
They were taken to trial by the Time Variance Authority.
And when they pull them into, because if you remember season 1, episode
Well, they
1,
pull 'em
passed
into
trial.
TVA, then they prune them and then send them to the Void, right?
if they fail the trial,
If they
because you can.
They all failed though.
No,
just the
so if you go
millions of
if you watch the new Rockstars videos and go back to the Loki season 1, they make the argument that Cap and Peggy Carter should have been pruned because Cap goes back and lives his original life in Endgame. Well, yes, we do know it's all scripted. When they first released episode 1 and they mentioned the pruning, everyone said that. And all of the writers and directors essentially said, yeah, they probably did get pulled in, but since he's at the end of Endgame, he passed. And he was allowed to continue on because what he did doesn't create.
the script. He who remains.
Well, yes, we find that out later, but when everyone asked the question when episode 1 released, that was their explanation for it. Was that they passed, and the reason why they passed is because whatever they do does not create a Kang or create a prune that goes far enough up for the TVA to care about, essentially. It doesn't cause a multiversal war.
Okay. All right.
That red zone they used to have was
Yeah.
to keep it from being a tree.
Basically. Well,
That-
they kept it. Yeah, they kept it
So
from
once
being a
that's
tree.
gone, Loki creates a tree.
Yeah,
Makes it a
essentially, it's still a tree, but instead of having branches, it's just one big log that goes straight up like a telephone.
No, I think it has branches.
It does-
Well, that interweave with each other.
It'll interweave.
and it has roots.
What I was getting at is that
The
it
big
does.
thing is roots.
That's where the timelines start. That's
Right,
the beginning
right,
of time,
right,
and they
right.
go to the ends of the branches. They weave together in the middle to create, cohesive whatever.
Okay, yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense. All right. Do you guys got anything else to add?
Do you want to talk about Batman again? No, just
Batman again. I think we're good.
Yeah, I think that'd be it.
I don't know. I got nothing else
I don't have anything else.
other
Yeah.
than waiting for like there's gonna be some stupid ass fucking big bad in
I was-
years.
I
or
was
something.
surprised that they had no extra scenes.
I was.
I was upset that we didn't get any
Yeah,
end
I
credit
thought we
scene.
get an end credit scene,
At least on the last episode.
or at least a mid credit scene. But
Oh well.
other than that, I got nothing else to add. I think we've talked about Loki enough. I mean,
We killed the 6 episodes.
Dr. Loki in between sentences about other stuff.
yeah, a little bit. A little bit. We talked about a lot of Marvel stuff for sure, but I think Loki has a ton to do with it.
Well, because Loki affects all of Marvel.
Yeah, I think at this point Loki is the central character for all the Marvel stories.
I mean, yeah.
I mean,
As he is the one keeping it alive.
God of stories, God of the tree of life.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's where he's at.
Yeah.
So, which good for Loki. That's where he should be.
Yeah.
He finally didn't lose.
So he did not lose.
He didn't lose.
He lost all his friends, but he didn't lose.
He didn't lose his friends. He gets to sit there and watch them.
Yeah.
From a distance.
From a distance.
It's like being grounded and you get to watch all your friends play outside and you're like,
Yeah.
man, this is just as good.
He also gets to watch his friends poop, sleep, eat,
Jerk off.
drive,
Yeah.
masturbate,
Yeah, masturbate.
commit murder.
It's fucking awful, man.
Like, oh my god, Mobius, what the fuck you got in your basement?
All right. So this has been another episode of Pints and Pages. We're going to call it a day. And I'm Nick.
I'm Brad.
I'm Levi.
And hopefully you tune in next time. This has been Loki season finale.